because of the fact that with an Armageddon in play, he has time to think. There are two players who don't have time to think and have to explore this position in more real time. Our battle for 7th place, Javokhir Sindarov and Levon Aronian, already 7 moves into the game, much more well advanced, but perhaps something to learn as well as the players take peeks up to those big screens above them. Into that 7th place matchup we go, because it is destined to end well before our other 2 matchups.
Yeah, it's funny. 8 moves in now. Queens are already off the board. Fabiano hasn't even made move 1. And yeah, it's Sindarov with the time disadvantage. He's now down 3 minutes because he gets the draw odds in this Armageddon. And I've got to say, just first glance, looks very nice for white. Nice pawn here, clamping down on enemy territory. Nice, beautiful centralized knight. White can castle, even here and now if he wants to, just by bringing his rook across. Looks like a great position. Black has the central pawns, but maybe targets, and lots of passive pieces for Sindarov to have to deal with in the next few moves. Levon, great start.
A very good start, but like you mentioned, needs the win, right? A draw won't do for him, so he's going to have to keep pressing what is this slight advantage that he's built up. I guess my only concern would be that the most powerful piece on the board did already exit the playing field, so he won't have that at his disposal. And for Sindarov, he'll be glad to have that threatening piece of the queen no longer in play.
That's right. First, though, his best piece kicked around again. That piece has already moved twice. He'll have to move a 3rd time, most likely. And I think Levon's just getting ready. There's enough pieces left for now. Sindarov would love to trade off maybe more knights, maybe some pieces.
Just going back to d6? Oh, no, he's just going to look to defend the piece.
Now, Levon will, next move, if given time, starts developing his remaining pieces. Maybe at some point pushing forward if the knight starts to lack squares. Difficult position here for Sindarov. This maybe will be a cautionary tale for Magnus, for example, who also has the black pieces in this round. They might have learned that these early queen checks, the way that the queens came off the board in this game, something to avoid. And wow, breaking news that Fabiano still seems to be thinking on move 1.
Yeah, if I'm to believe the board I have in front of me, though, I don't see the clocks moving. Granted, perhaps because the first move hasn't been made, they might really be taking a note of what's playing out on the other boards before he wants to commit to anything with the white pieces.
Wow, that's a shock. Why would you think this long on move 1 in a 25-minute game? We've seen Vincent Keimer do it before, but that was in longer classical time controls. And okay, we see both sides castle now on this board. And it's up to Levon to try and find a plan to turn his advantage into something more concrete.
Well, at some point, I think he has to try to break in the center with the d pawn and get more space, find a spot for the bishop. Does it come out from f7, or will it look for another diagonal? The knight from g8 coming out, but it does look like white's made far more moves than black has. Now expanding further on the left flank, the b4 pawn will not stop there, allowed. It will go to b5, and that threat has been stopped. Space advantage, better placed pieces. Open position. I do like Lev's chances, but still too early to call. He's insisting. He wants to get b5 in.
Yeah, Levon loving life. He loves space in general. He loves active pieces. Tactics seem to always fall in his favor when he gets this activity. I really don't envy Sindarov's clock situation either. It does feel like already he's feeling the heat and he's rushing because of the Armageddon situation.
You really want to break free, but there's no good way. If you push that d pawn forward, there's b5 to watch out for. The pawn will become a weakness itself. Also watch out for moves like bishop sliding over to attack that black rook, which kind of doesn't have so many squares as well at the right moment. Things really looking like they've clamped up for black here. Sindarov, 4.5 minutes on the clock, still quite a bit of a deficit, and a tough position to navigate.
Yeah, surely he takes this. Levon Aronian. He's now up 3.5 minutes and easy moves, nothing for black.
Has Fabi decided on his first move yet?
He has. Took him 5 minutes. He went for c4, of all things. And now Magnus is putting his thinking cap on, trying to decide how he wants to respond. But again, plenty of time to go for both of those players. Noterbeck and Vincent Keimer, they've at least made a little bit more progress in their game, so paving a bit of their own way. Now Javokhir, he elects to make a move, but you want to go somewhere else, David?
I was just going to say, it's funny, Fabiano took 5 minutes to play c4, and it seemed like the white table, they all agreed c4 was the best move. Levon played c4 move 1, Vincent played c4. Yeah. Fabi spent 5 minutes to convince himself that his teammates were correct, but that's 5 minutes he might well need later on in the game.
Yeah, they all took less than 30 seconds to make that decision for themselves. For Fabi, was it what's at stake? Maybe also feeling that the last round he did decide his own path, navigated the opening on his own, and that benefited him. So he wanted to make sure it was indeed the correct way. I like what Javokhir is doing. When under pressure, you want to get more pieces off the board, trade them off. The big question is, how dangerous is B5?
Big question, B5 now or after a trade of knights? Definitely what Levon is thinking about.
Where are you going with your knight? I mean, there's only one square that I see that doesn't lose material on the spot.
Oh, back home. Oh, ugly. Might be necessary.
The reason is you can't put it on A5 at the edge of the board because you end up losing that piece with B6, then disconnecting the bishop.
Can you put it on A7?
I think he can for now, based on the fact that the black bishop, if hit, would have been able to give a check, but he prefers to go central. Makes a lot of sense.
A lot more sense.
Even if the knight captures, that black pawn, when it eventually lands, maybe bishop trade first, will be very weak in the center. This is beautiful for Levon Aronian, who could continue marching as well.
Again, it just feels like White's made so many moves in this game, while Black's barely gotten anything in. 2 pawns on the 5th rank, castle in, rook about to come on the E1 file, on the E file.
Yeah, both black rooks are completely blunted by their own pieces.
Bishop hasn't made a single move. B6 in the air at the right moment. You know, you can also start targeting the A line, get your king up 1 step, line up the rook on the open A file, look for infiltration.
Yeah, normally I'd be a little bit concerned about that white king, but not when enough pieces have been developed on the other side of the board to mount any sort of threat.
No, when the opponent's pieces are so passive, still at home, haven't moved. And I would say, though, that Levon, he's doing a good thing. He's paused now. He's burnt some of his time advantage, but he does have a small window to strike. If black is able to break forward and eliminate, especially this white pawn, start trading off pieces, get this bishop into the game, then it might be a real fight. But he's actually going for some sneaky checks, potentially. The black king is suffocated, cannot move. So any check might be mate or a decisive material advantage.
He's absolutely launched a stunning offensive from essentially move 1. He just put the foot on the gas and is basically not taking off, except for that one moment of pause, like you said, to make maybe a crucial decision.
Great decision as well. Tanya, I really fear for Sindarov. There are these types of ideas with some checks. Now the d pawn cannot push due to a knight fork in the center. Black is paralyzed almost.
This is looking like Levon just outclassed Sindarov. I mean, just never really gave him a chance in this game at all. And he's coming for the kill. He's about to cash in super fast now. He does get the bishop out. Knight jumps in. Finally, the rook comes to the open line, but is it too little, too late?
Bar keeps slipping in the direction of Levon Aronian.
Can you win this immediately with the check on A7? But you're pointing out that the rook also creates a breathing space for the black king, so you're not forcing the trade.
Oh, it is ugly. Yeah, knight check. The bishop could also take, but then yeah, it's going to be hard for the black rook to defend that promotion square forever. Levon's looking for the immediate kill.
Yeah, you've got to be sensing it. It comes in. All right, let's see. Javokhir, is he brave enough to allow a pawn on the 7th rank? I would dare not. But king d8, not a happy move either.
Oh, that just looks like you're walking into the crossfire. Nope, he does step his king across. And Levon, relentless.
Oh, my goodness.
He's not even stopping. He's not even pausing. He's not even thinking.
Just putting Javokhir in full retreat mode as well.
Where's this Levon been all week, all weekend?
That's a good question.
Lion.
He's unfettered. He's feeling a bit more free.
Yeah, now he has the option of taking a knight. And yes, the rook will drop, but he'll get 2 pieces for the rook.
And that's the thing, right? You need time at the start of the game, and just banking on trying to get black with this much deficit, and then you just end up with a dead lost position right out of the opening.
Yeah, this is crazy. We're about to have move 24. Our World Championship final is only on move 3. So we will have plenty of time.
Don't worry, you've not missed much, and we'll make sure to walk it back to the beginning after this one concludes.
And that's not going to be too long. That's a beautiful move.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's checkmate. Rook takes pawn is checkmate. He didn't even bother capturing the bishop back. A nice Zwischenzug there.
So, got to defend the pawn.
And I think every move Levon's played has been the best move. By the computer, that bar has just incrementally been going up and up and up and staying there. Whoa, and as I say that, but still very powerful. He doesn't care about material, he's only going for the kill here.
Wow, he was on almost 99% accuracy until this last move, but still totally winning. Now only, oh, actually, back to 99.2.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not too
Still
bad.
hasn't even given a full % of inaccuracy to his opponent.
You know, one gets the feeling that this has to finish here and now. You can't go c7, unfortunately. Black will give up the bishop for the 2 pawns, so that's not the move.
It is totally winning, but maybe he underestimated the fact that the black rook can now defend its bishop.
Do you just go pawn takes pawn, threatening knight c6 checkmate?
Oh, wow. Tanya, that would be sneaky, the knight replacing the pawn. That's one of the reasons the black pawn couldn't have captured last move. There would have been some sneaky forks. Yeah, I mean, which pawn do you capture? Do you have to capture either?
I was thinking the b7 pawn, but tricky.
Big moment. Levon senses this is the win. He's got 3 minutes to find it.
Where is it, Lev? Show us.
He goes for it, but a mistake.
Ooh, oh my goodness, a big mistake.
Levon, he's forgotten that the black bishop can save itself and cover this diagonal. Now he's actually the exchange down, and he's only got one move not to be worse.
A shake of his head as well as he realized that I have to say pawn takes pawn just looked so incredibly dangerous. And the only resource that Sindarov had. And he finds it.
Yeah, there still is one solid move in this position, but it is the only move that he can find here to keep himself alive. How easy is it to find? He does it. Bishop to c6.
Beautiful.
Got a pinned pawn there, so of course can't be recaptured. Gets the exclam. It's the only thing to hold on to an advantage, but that advantage has lessened.
I mean, David, we've got to show that checkmate, right? How often do you see a knight giving a checkmate to the king at the center of the board with a pawn on the 7th rank?
Yeah, we will watch Sindarov's arms. He hasn't made the move yet, but bishop takes bishop would be a huge blunder. This is a beautiful smothered mate with that pin. Instead, he has chosen to block the diagonal. Great move. Only move, it looked like, to keep that bishop alive. That bishop's a key defender. All he wants, Sindarov, is to trade off pieces. He's material up. And if he can get this pawn, he would love to grab it. And this could turn any moment.
If we have the time, let's back it up just before that little bit of an inaccuracy. What was the recipe? I think it was, strangely, bishop back to d2, threatening the reroute onto the dark square diagonal. That would land a check onto the king, looking for more ways to suffocate that king that is ill-positioned on the back rank.
Yeah, that would have been a silent killer. No way to actually defend this square. If the black rook tries to defend it, then check this out. Bishop check anyway, giving itself up, and a beautiful checkmate, deflecting the rook away. This was a hidden resource. Retreat moves when you're going forward, so hard to see, but that would have ended the game in conjunction with the pawn landing.
And so interesting because it feels like Levon's mind has been, and now he's reaching for bishop to d2. Is it as effective now, though?
It's a great move, fantastic move. It would have been a knockout 3 moves ago, but better late than never, as they say. And Sindarov's king has to run out into the open. Can it survive? Double question mark given. White is winning yet again.
Yeah, but maybe the best of bad moves, right? At this point, almost nothing feels comfortable or good in Sindarov's position. The knight leaps in with a check on the king.
The rook is hanging as well. The king in absolute danger. The bishops joining the attack. Where do you run? You need to stay connected to the black rook as well if you're Sindarov right now. King f8, bishop b4 check.
Yeah, wherever you go with the king, you will get checked along this diagonal, along the other diagonal. It looks like he has to part with his rook, and it will just be a clear piece advantage for white. One pawn will drop. The black rook will gobble up the furthest advanced pawn here, but totally winning now for Levon.
Totally winning for Levon. So from Javokhir's perspective, is it now just about the clock? Now I play the clock to win in my Armageddon?
It has to be. Set a trap when Levon's down to his last few seconds. Maybe that's the issue, or the best bet. But he's not out of it completely, since he does have 2 central pawns of his own, 2 strong pawns there to advance.
And those pawns are pretty flexible. They are mobile. They are moving forward. You push the E pawn, then the D pawn, and then suddenly you're talking about a game in hand. Right now, Levon Aronian still trying to put the black king in a kill zone. One check and it would be game over, but where does he find it?
Yeah, a hit on the white rook here. The white rook will move, plenty of safe squares. But Levon has slowed down. He's actually down a few seconds here. Armageddon. Oh, hesitation as well.
And the good news for white is that black can't push that E central pawn. That would disconnect the bishop to that D5 pawn, giving it up, losing the game. So with that not possible, where is Sindarov moving the bishop?
He's going to move it out the way, maybe hit the white rook, try to get his own rook active down this open line.
45 seconds now. A dead last position, counting on tricks, is Javokhir Sindarov.
Okay, that's a bizarre move. planting the bishop in the corner, but often surprising your opponent in these bullet situations under 1 minute. That is the key. Burning a few seconds off the clock. Levon goes for the black bishop, but it's going the long way around.
The white rook comes in, and finally the e-pawn starts moving ahead, opening up the bishop as well.
Look at Sindarov, the adrenaline pumping through, fiddling with that pawn.
Pieces are coming into play right now. Huge threat. A check on e7, check on f7, winning the rook.
Wow, all the checks, and that rook cannot be captured. It would be replaced by an even stronger pawn.
He's got to keep up the pace, though. Too long to think here.
Sindarov's got to move. He's just got to choose any random move here to play on.
Anything that doesn't lose.
But this one apparently does. Rook b1, do you continue with checks right now? Still a decision to be made here. Picks up.
Pawns are coming. White was threatening checkmate. That was the idea. But now there is an escape square for the black king in the center.
Shuffle of the rook as the king threatens it. Going to toss that time back over to Levon Aronian. It's back over to Sindarov. He's got 14 seconds to his name.
The bishop slides back.
Mate in one.
Checkmate. It's
Oh,
checkmate.
Mate in one.
will he spot it? Will he spot it? He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Spot it. He misses it.
Still their next move. Or is it? No, the king's escaping. Game continues. The clock is going to play the biggest role here. 7 seconds against 11.
3 seconds between them. Back over to Levon. He makes a quick move. Now the rook slides over to a1. Up over with the check. He's going to pick up pieces. Bishops fall. 3 seconds for Javokhir. We see the players smacking the clock. It's coming down to it. The handshake is extended. Levon Aronian with just a second or so to his name. He gets the win over Javokhir Sindarov.
Wow, smiles on Levon's face. I'm sure Sindarov will be smiling as well. That was a real adrenaline rush. Really high quality game until the clock started playing a factor. But ultimately, Levon ends Weissenhaus on a high.
And straight into the analysis they go. No time to celebrate the 7th place finish. They're going to talk through the position because there was plenty of complexity in it. Now, while we've been locked in, and rightfully so, on the Armageddon battle between these two for 7th, our legends over at the Make.com Deep Dive desk have been keeping an eye on both of our top tables, 3rd and 1st place. So I'm going to hand things over to Judith Polgar and Peter Lecko.